You know, we all have them. That Netflix subscription, that Spotify plan, maybe some extra cloud storage. They feel like these small, harmless little expenses, right? But what if I told you they're actually creating a massive, silent drain on your finances? Let's find out just how deep that rabbit hole really goes.
So, I want you to keep this one question in mind as we go through this. What are your subscriptions really costing you? I'm not just talking about the monthly fee you see on your statement. I mean the true hidden cost, over the long run.
These numbers probably look pretty familiar, don't they? A couple hundred rupees for Netflix, a little something for Spotify. I mean, on their own, they barely even make a dent. Each one just feels like a small, easy price to pay for all the convenience we get.
And that's the trap, isn't it? We see these tiny little numbers and we think, oh, it's fine. It's just a few hundred rupees a month. But what happens when we zoom out a bit? What does the bigger picture actually look like?
Well, once you multiply those small monthly fees by 12, the picture changes a lot. Suddenly, that $199 for Netflix is almost $2,400 a year. And when you add them all up, you're looking at over 8,000 rupees gone every single year. That's not a small expense anymore. That's a pretty significant financial commitment. But here's the thing, even that 8,000 rupees isn't the full story, not even close. The real cost, the one that truly deeply impacts your financial future, is the opportunity you're giving up every time you spend that money instead of, say, investing it.
1.5 lakh rupees. That's what your yearly subscription cost of just over 8,000 rupees could turn into in only 10 years if you invested it instead, assuming something like a 12% return. This is the future wealth you're trading for today's convenience. And there's a powerful financial term for this. It's called opportunity cost.
So opportunity cost is basically the hidden price tag on every financial decision you make. When you spend that money today, you're not just losing the money itself, you're losing its potential to grow for you. It's kind of like a silent leak in your long-term financial goals. So how in the world do we get here? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks up on us through this gradual process known as subscription creep. Just look at how this can escalate. You start with a few core services in year 1. A couple years later, you've added a few more. And by year 5, you could easily have 10 or more subscriptions without even realizing it. Your expenses just slowly inflate, turning from a small cost into this burden that feels just like another monthly EMI payment. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a bit of a wake-up call, right? But here's the good part. Taking back control is actually much simpler than you think. Let's break down a really clear, practical action plan you can use right away. All right, first up, the annual audit. Once a year, sit down and list every single recurring payment you have. Now for the tough part. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Do you really watch Netflix enough to justify it? Or is it just a habit? Could you live with the free version of Spotify? Just canceling 2 or 3 services you barely even touch could put thousands of rupees right back in your pocket, instantly. Now try this powerful little filter. I call it the rule of 3. Group your subscriptions into categories. Like entertainment, productivity, music. The challenge? Keep only one service from each category. Do you really need Netflix, Prime, and Hotstar? Probably not. This one simple rule can often cut your subscription bill in half, seriously. And hey, don't forget the power of sharing. Take YouTube Premium, for example. An individual plan is over 1,600 rupees a year, but if you split a family plan with a few people, the cost just plummets to about 378 rupees per person. That's a massive saving for the exact same service. All right, 2 more quick fire tips for you. First, turn off auto-renew. This forces you to consciously decide if a service is still worth paying for each time. And second, set a hard budget cap, say 3% of your income, for all your subscriptions. That forces you to prioritize what truly matters to you. This right here is the key takeaway. It's not that subscriptions are bad, not at all. It's about respecting the fact that every small expense adds up, and it has the power to either build your future or slowly chip it away. So, I'll leave you with this simple checklist. Before you click subscribe on anything ever again, just pause and ask yourself, am I going to use this daily? Is there a free or a cheaper alternative out there? And maybe most importantly, is this actually increasing my income or is it just another habit? Answering those questions honestly, well, that's the real key to taking back control. You ever have that feeling where your finances are just a bit all over the place?
Like, you know money's coming in and you know it's going out, but you're not totally sure where it's all going. Yeah, we've all been there. So today, let's cut right through that chaos. We're gonna walk through a super simple checklist that'll take you from feeling out of control to totally in command.
It's the big question, isn't it? We think we have a handle on it, but the truth is, it's those small, almost invisible automatic payments that just slip right under the radar. So let's start by putting a spotlight on one of those sneaky expenses. Okay, look at this, 199 rupees a month. I mean, what is that really? A couple of fancy coffees? It's the price of a single subscription service you probably forgot you even signed up for. It feels like absolutely nothing. But you know, that nothing adds up fast. Over a whole year, that one single harmless subscription quietly siphons off almost 2,400 rupees. And that right there is the whole problem in a nutshell. You've heard it before, small leaks can sink a very big ship.
And now, let's just scale that up. If one subscription is a tiny leak, what happens when you have 5 of them? Suddenly, it's a flood. We're talking nearly 12,000 rupees a year, just gone, vanished into thin air. That's real money that could have been invested, saved, or used for something you actually care about. So job number 1, we gotta plug these leaks. All right, so this is step 1. Seriously, before you even think about saving or investing or any of that, you have to stop the financial bleeding. And that means going after those silent budget killers, the sneaky subscriptions, and all those reoccurring charges. Here is a beautifully simple but incredibly powerful rule to live by. It's called the Cut One Old Rule. You're thinking about signing up for that hot new streaming service? Fantastic. But the rule is you first have to go find an old subscription you're not using anymore and cancel it. It's a one in, one out policy that forces you to really think about what's actually valuable to you. So here are your action items. This is what you do. Make it a monthly ritual, okay? Just scan your bank and credit card statements. See something you don't use? Cancel it. Right then and there. No procrastinating. And you have to be absolutely ruthless with that auto-renew button. Either switch it off or, at the very least, set a reminder in your calendar so you never get sideswiped by a renewal or one of those sneaky price hikes. Okay, good. The leaks are getting plugged. Now it's time to switch from playing defense to building something strong. It's time to build your financial fortress. Look, this isn't about getting rich overnight. This is about creating a solid foundation of security that can handle whatever curveballs life decides to throw at you. Let's be crystal clear about this. This is a non-negotiable principle of personal finance. Before you even think about chasing big returns in the stock market, you have to build that cash buffer. Your emergency fund, that's your shield. It's what protects your long-term goals from short-term disasters. So, how big does this shield need to be? The rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses. And notice I said essential, not your total income. Just the absolute must-pays, like your rent, your utilities, your food. And you need to keep this money separate, in an account you can get to easily. Think of it as your break glass in case of emergency money. The other major pillar of your fortress? Insurance. And the difference it makes is just night and day. A medical emergency without proper insurance can literally wipe out years of savings and bury you in debt. But with it, your savings stay safe and the financial damage is contained. It is truly the difference between a temporary setback and a full-blown catastrophe. So, let's recap. Your leaks are plugged, your fortress is built. Now, and I mean only now, can we really start talking about growth. This is the fun part. This is where we shift from just protecting what you have to actively making it grow for your future. A fantastic place to start is with a simple framework like the 50-30-20 rule. It is so straightforward, there's no excuse not to try it. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your needs. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And that final, crucial 20%, that gets dedicated to your savings and investments. It's a simple structure that builds incredible discipline over time. Now, when you do start investing, you have to pay attention to this. Fees. Fees are like the termites of your investment portfolio. They just chew away at your returns silently in the background. A 2% fee versus a 0.1% fee might sound totally insignificant, but compounded over 10, 20 years, it can devour a massive chunk of your money. So the takeaway is simple. Always, and I mean always, check the expense ratio. And that brings us to the last and, maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle,
Getting your finances in order isn't a project you just finish one day. It's not a destination. It's a system of habits that you build and maintain. It's about creating a structure that keeps you on track for the long haul.
And here is a brilliant little mind trick to help you do just that: the cooling off rule. The next time you feel the urge to make a non-essential purchase, just wait. Force yourself to wait 48 to 72 hours. This simple pause acts like a circuit breaker for the impulsive part of your brain. It gives the more rational, long-term thinking part of you a chance to catch up and ask, do I really need this? And to make all of this stick, you've got to put it on the calendar. You need to create a financial rhythm for yourself. A quick check-in every month for those leaks, a deeper dive every quarter to look at your investments and debts, and then a big full audit once a year for your insurance, taxes, and your big picture goals. This is how you turn good intentions into habits that are basically unbreakable.
Whew, okay, we have covered a lot. But none of this matters if you don't do something with it, right? Knowledge without action is just trivia. So let's wrap this all up with a super focused, no excuses action plan you can start literally the second this is over. Here it is, your 7-point immediate checklist. This is your path forward. Now, don't get overwhelmed and try to do all 7 things at once. Just pick one, just one. Spend 15 minutes right now doing that subscription audit, or just take 5 minutes to calculate your emergency fund number. The goal isn't perfection here. The goal is momentum. Just start. So that's the final question, really. You have the roadmap. You have the checklist sitting right here in front of you. Which one of these small but incredibly powerful actions are you going to take today to start your journey from chaos to control? The choice is all yours.